The Monaco Grand Prix.
There you go. P1 in Monaco, baby.
Monaco, baby! Yeah, baby! Woo! We did it. Well done. We won in Monaco. It's a dream. Well done, guys. Unbelievable job. Amazing weekend. Thank you so much.
Lando Norris expertly converted pole position into victory during Sunday's Monaco Grand Prix, leading home Ferrari rival Charles Leclerc and McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri at the end of an intriguing strategic race. The victory marked Norris's second win of the 2025 season and dramatically reshaped the championship standings. The 78-lap race around the Circuit de Monaco delivered precisely the kind of strategic complexity that Formula One had hoped for when implementing its new mandatory two-stop rule. Norris survived a massive lockup at the first corner before working through virtual safety car phases, spells of traffic, and the mandated pit stop requirements to score his maiden Monaco victory. Max Verstappen held the race lead until the penultimate lap on an alternate strategy, but the Red Bull driver ultimately dropped to fourth after completing his required second stop with just one lap remaining. The result moved Norris to within 3 points of championship leader Oscar Piastri, setting up an intense battle between the McLaren teammates. The victory carries profound implications for both Norris personally and the 2025 championship fight. McLaren now holds 319 points in the constructor standings, more than double any other team's total. The Papaya squad has claimed 6 wins from the first 8 races of 2025, demonstrating remarkable consistency across varying circuit layouts. For Norris, this represents his first Monaco Grand Prix victory after years of coming close to conquering the Principalities' challenging street circuit. "It feels amazing," Norris said afterward. "It's a long, grueling race, but good fun. We could push for quite a lot of the race. This is what I dreamed of when I was a kid, so I achieved one of my dreams." The win also marked McLaren's record-extending 16th Monaco victory, and their first since Lewis Hamilton's triumph in 2008. That victory proved pivotal in Hamilton's first championship campaign, adding historical weight to Norris's breakthrough performance. Championship leader Oscar Piastri saw his points advantage shrink from 13 points to just 3 following his third-place finish. The Australian had won 4 races since Norris's season-opening victory in Australia, but Monaco represented a crucial swing in momentum. "If this is a bad weekend," Piastri said, "then it's not going too badly at all." Formula One introduced mandatory 2 pit stops for Monaco 2025, requiring drivers to use 3 different tire sets, including 2 different slick compounds. The regulation aimed to inject strategic variety into a race that had become increasingly processional in recent years. The 2024 Monaco Grand Prix saw the top 10 finish in exactly their grid order, highlighting the circuit's fundamental challenge for modern Formula One cars. Pirelli declared that anything can happen in their pre-race strategy guide, acknowledging the uncertainty the new rule might create. However, the regulation's impact proved mixed. While it created strategic intrigue and timing decisions throughout the race, only 2 genuine on-track overtakes occurred during the 78 laps. The fundamental problem remained unchanged. Modern Formula One cars are simply too big and heavy for effective overtaking on Monaco's narrow streets. The enforced stops did bring a level of uncertainty that would otherwise have been absent. Teams had to carefully balance tire degradation, track position, and pit window timing. This created an intriguing strategic puzzle as each team reacted and responded to their competitors' moves. Williams team principal James Vowles captured the rule's double-edged nature during the broadcast. He said, "This isn't how I like to go racing, but that's what the rules have created. I don't know what it's like to watch at home, but from my position this is a difficult afternoon." Several drivers faced grid penalties heading into the race, reshaping the starting order. Oliver Behrman received a 10-place penalty for various practice incidents, while Lance Stroll dropped 4 positions. Lewis Hamilton, despite recovering well from a final practice accident to qualify 4th, received a 3-place penalty for impeding Verstappen during Q1. The tire strategy choices revealed interesting tactical thinking. The majority of the field started on medium tires, providing a balanced approach between pace and degradation. Verstappen, Alonso, Hamilton, Sainz, Russell, Antonelli, Colapinto, and Stroll opted for the harder compound, planning longer initial stints. Tsunoda uniquely chose soft tires for maximum early pace. Behrman's car was noted as being in an unsafe condition before the start, adding another variable to an already complex strategic picture. These pre-race penalties and tire choices would prove crucial as the afternoon unfolded. The race began cleanly with Norris maintaining his pole position advantage despite a sizable double lockup at Saint-Devote. The McLaren driver's ability to hold position through the opening corner proved crucial as overtaking opportunities would remain scarce throughout the afternoon. Charles Leclerc made a strong start from second position, applying immediate pressure to Norris through the opening sequence. Oscar Piastri maintained third position, with Verstappen holding fourth as the top order remained largely unchanged through the critical opening phase. The first significant incident occurred when Gabriel Bortolito went wheel-to-wheel with Kimi Antonelli through the hairpin before going straight on at Portier and hitting the wall. The Brazilian managed to back out and return to the pits for repairs, but the virtual safety car deployment allowed several drivers to make early tire changes. Tsunoda, Gasly, and Behrman all stopped for fresh rubber during the VSC period. The stewards investigated the Bortolito-Antonelli incident, but determined no further action was required, allowing racing to resume on lap 4. The drama escalated significantly on lap 9 when Pierre Gasly ran into Yuki Tsunoda's Red Bull under braking for the Nouvelle chicane. The collision forced Gasly's retirement and drew a frustrated radio response from Tsunoda. Is he an idiot? What is he doing? As drivers worked around the debris, Verstappen attempted to attack Piastri on the run between the chicane and Tabac. The McLaren driver's firm defense drew complaints from the reigning four-time world champion, though the stewards took no action. The green flag pit stop phase began with Hülkenberg and Colapinto making early changes under normal racing conditions. A brief pit lane closure occurred when Gasly parked his damaged Alpine at the Williams garage, temporarily disrupting the strategic flow. Isaac Hadjar made the first significant move from fifth position, switching to soft tires and rejoining in 8th place. The Racing Bulls driver emerged just ahead of teammate Liam Lawson, who had been deliberately backing up the field behind him as part of their strategic plan. Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon responded to Hadjar's stop on the following lap, rejoining in 7th and 8th respectively. Alonso immediately complained about his harder tire compound. "I can't push now." The Spaniard radioed to his team. Lewis Hamilton pitted on lap 19 for hard tires, emerging ahead of Hadjar with a clear track position advantage. Norris followed suit from the race lead shortly afterward, returning to the circuit in 4th position, but with a significant gap of clean air to maximize his pace. The Racing Bull strategy became crystal clear on lap 20 when Hadjar made his second stop, taking on hard tires and again rejoining ahead of Lawson. This coordinated approach demonstrated how teams were adapting to the mandatory two-stop requirement. McLaren attempted to undercut new leader Leclerc by bringing Piastri in next, but a slow stop hampered their plan. When Leclerc stopped on lap 22, he managed to slot back between the McLaren drivers despite Piastri's best efforts. Verstappen, having started on hard tires, extended his opening stint and found himself with a 10-second lead over Norris. The Red Bull driver's alternative strategy would become increasingly important as the race progressed. Piastri's frustration was evident over the radio. So now what's the plan? Because that didn't work very well. McLaren's attempted undercut had failed, leaving them to reconsider their approach, while Verstappen continued extending his stint. The television coverage highlighted George Russell's battle with Carlos Sainz outside the points positions. The Williams driver appeared to be creating space for teammate Alex Albon ahead, mirroring the Racing Bulls' coordinated strategy. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff provided radio encouragement as Russell grew increasingly frustrated with the defensive tactics. Verstappen finally pitted on lap 28, switching to medium tires and dropping back to 4th position. This restored the original top 3 of Norris, Leclerc, and Piastri, while Ocon, Colapinto, and Bortolito also made their second stops during this phase. Oliver Behrman continued to provide entertainment with dramatic wheel-to-wheel battles. The Haas driver engaged in close combat with Stroll through Rasgas and bounced over the curbs exiting the swimming pool section, though he avoided lasting damage to his car. At the race's halfway point, Norris led Leclerc by approximately 6 seconds, with Piastri 5 seconds further back and Verstappen 2 seconds behind the Australian. Verstappen's radio comment captured his frustration with the car's performance. My shifts feel like the Monaco Grand Prix 1972. Fernando Alonso's afternoon took a turn for the worse on lap 38 when he parked his smoking Aston Martin at Rasgas exit. The two-time world champion's retirement ended what had become a difficult race after losing positions in the pit lane and developing power unit issues. Williams elevated their team coordination when Albon released Sainz into clear air while deliberately backing up the cars behind. This tactical move aimed to give Sainz a free pit stop while maximizing points opportunities for both Williams drivers. The strategy created significant frustration for Russell and Antonelli, who found themselves trapped behind the deliberately slow Williams cars. Russell accused Albon of driving dangerously slowly, highlighting the ethical questions raised by such coordinated defensive tactics. The first front-runners began their second stops on lap 49 when Piastri came in for fresh tires. Leclerc immediately covered this move, stopping 1 lap later to maintain track position. Norris, as race leader, followed suit 1 tour after Leclerc, while Verstappen continued his extended strategy. Russell's frustration with Williams' tactics reached a breaking point at the Nouvelle chicane. After avoiding contact with Albon under braking, Russell cut across the chicane and ignored Mercedes' advice to return the position. "I'll take the penalty. He's driving erratically," Russell declared over the radio. The stewards investigated swiftly and issued Russell a drive-through penalty rather than the expected 5-second time penalty. Russell's response reflected his surprise. "To be honest, I prefer not to speak." The final 20 laps created mounting tension as Verstappen remained in the lead despite still owing his second mandatory stop. The Red Bull driver's position allowed him to control the pace, backing up Norris and enabling Leclerc to close within a few tenths. Norris found himself under increasing pressure from Leclerc while unable to attack Verstappen ahead. "Where's Oscar? I need him to put Charles under some pressure," Norris radioed, adding, "Max is just backing me up. He's not even pushing." The tension reached its peak during the final 10 laps as Norris managed the dual pressure of Leclerc behind and Verstappen's strategic pace control ahead. The McLaren driver demonstrated exceptional composure during this critical phase, maintaining position while preserving his tires for a potential late attack. Verstappen finally made his mandatory second stop with 1 lap remaining, releasing Norris, Leclerc, and Piastri back into the top 3 positions. The timing confirmed that Verstappen's alternative strategy, while creative, could not overcome the fundamental mathematics of the mandatory pit stop requirement. Norris responded to his freedom by setting the fastest lap of the race on his way to the checkered flag. The gesture sent a clear message to his championship rivals about his pace and confidence level. The final classification saw Norris claim victory with a time of 1 hour 40 minutes and 33.843 seconds, ahead of Leclerc by 3.131 seconds and Piastri by 3.658 seconds. Verstappen's late stop relegated him to 4th, 20.572 seconds behind the winner. Lewis Hamilton completed the top 5, finishing 51.387 seconds behind Norris after a largely solitary race. The points-paying positions were completed by Isaac Hadjar in 6th, Esteban Ocon 7th, Liam Lawson 8th, Alex Albon 9th, and Carlos Sainz 10th. George Russell's drive-through penalty dropped him to 11th, while Oliver Behrman's recovery drive from last to 12th provided one of the race's most impressive performances. The rookie drivers showed varying fortunes, with Hadjar claiming an excellent 6th place, while Franco Colapinto finished 13th for Alpine, and Gabriel Bortolito took 14th for Kick Sauber after his opening lap incident. Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly were the race's only retirements, both suffering from mechanical issues and collision damage respectively. Kimi Antonelli finished 18th after an extremely late pit stop strategy, while several other drivers completed the classification outside the points. Norris's victory demonstrated the continuing importance of qualifying position at Monaco. Despite the mandatory 2-stop rule creating strategic opportunities, track position remained a dominant factor in determining race outcomes. The McLaren showed exceptional pace on the medium tire compound, allowing both drivers to maintain competitive lap times throughout their stint lengths. This tire performance proved crucial in managing the various strategic phases of the race. Verstappen's alternative strategy highlighted both the possibilities and limitations of the new regulations. While the extended stint allowed him to lead for significant portions of the race, the mandatory nature of the second stop ultimately limited his strategic options. The Racing Bulls' coordination between Hadjar and Lawson demonstrated how teams could maximize the new regulations through careful coordination. Their ability to control traffic flow and create strategic opportunities for both drivers exemplified adaptive tactical thinking. The mandatory 2-stop rule achieved its goal of creating strategic uncertainty, but fell short of solving Monaco's fundamental overtaking challenges. The regulation created compelling tactical decisions and timing considerations throughout the afternoon. However, with only 2 genuine on-track overtakes occurring during the 78 laps, the rule functioned more as a strategic exercise than a solution to Monaco's racing limitations. The fundamental problem of car size and circuit width remained unchanged. The regulation did prevent the complete processional nature of recent Monaco races, creating multiple phases where track position could shift through strategic decisions rather than qualifying order alone. This represented a modest improvement in the spectacle, even if it failed to deliver the dramatic transformation some had hoped for. Teams adapted quickly to the new requirements, developing sophisticated strategies around the mandatory stops. The coordination between teammates became particularly important, as demonstrated by Racing Bulls and Williams' tactical approaches. Norris's victory reduces Piastri's championship lead to just 3 points, setting up an intense battle between the McLaren teammates for the remainder of the season. With Verstappen now 25 points behind in 3rd place, the championship fight has become increasingly focused on the McLaren drivers. McLaren's Constructors' Championship position appears virtually unassailable, with 319 points, more than double any competitor's total. The team's 6 wins from 8 races demonstrates remarkable consistency across diverse circuit characteristics. The Spanish Grand Prix represents the final race of this European tripleheader and provides an immediate opportunity for championship momentum to shift again. Barcelona's traditional overtaking opportunities will provide a stark contrast to Monaco's strategic limitations. Norris's confidence boost from finally conquering Monaco could prove crucial in his championship challenge. The victory addresses long-standing questions about his ability to convert pole positions into wins at the sport's most prestigious venues. As Formula One heads to Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix from May 30th to June 1st, the championship battle has never been more finely balanced. Norris's Monaco breakthrough has transformed what seemed like Piastri's comfortable lead into one of the closest title fights in recent memory. The victory represents more than just a race win for Norris. It fulfills a childhood dream while providing the psychological boost needed to challenge for his first world championship. Monaco has witnessed many careers reach new heights, and Lando Norris's name can now be added to that illustrious list.